Hey friends, how is everybody? So we are doing a tutorial today on a steampunk Halloween wreath is what we're going to call it. That's what my customer is wanting. Actually, it's like a steampunk meets circus, I guess, type vibe. So it's really just a Halloween vibe. These are our main focal points today. These two pumpkins. And I'm hoping I'm not shaking that too much, but I feel like I am. Hopefully that's not shaking too bad, y'all. So we're going to start off, and this is the last wreath I'm making this season, okay? And I did not want to have to go buy more mesh. Thank goodness I found this. I had orange, but I was like, I really need black, but I found this one, and so it's going to work. I love being able to find stuff from my stash to work for what I want. So let's go ahead and get some of it cut up. It's just 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh, and we're just going to start cutting. Y'all know how I do. I just pull it out arm's length and snip it off. It's been a while since I posted a YouTube tutorial, and so instead of going live, I just wanted to do a pre-recorded tutorial, more in-depth discussion on what we're doing versus the chitty-chatty. That way, you guys can follow along, or you can fast forward past the boring parts, like this, and get to the points that you want to get to. Everybody loves that fast forward button. I know I do. And I also like to be able to pause and rewind when I'm watching something, especially a tutorial. And yes, I have on no makeup and I'm still in my pajama pants. Isn't it lovely? Love my job. Now this is different than regular mesh. Sorry guys, I'm recording on my iPad. I still have my phone available. Sorry for the break there, y'all. So let's resume cutting our mesh. I don't measure, I just pull my arm straight out, but these are probably about 22 inches. This is just a length that I've always found works for me. And I guarantee you, if you lined them all up, there's not a single one of them that are the same. I promise you. It does not matter. It does not matter. Okay, so let's grab our mesh. We're going to take our curl. It rolls in naturally. I usually hold it against my chest. But we're going to let it roll in naturally just like 1 or 2 times. Not 1. Definitely 2 or 3 times. And then we'll gather it in the center. This, I believe, is called the Kruppel method. Hi friends, back again. Sorry for that lapse. I know I merged these together, so you probably don't understand it, but there's been about an hour between the first couple of minutes of this video, and I just rolled up another mesh curl. Okay, getting my thoughts together. Being a stay-at-home mom, I work from home. I'm also an employee. I have phones forwarded to me. Life gets a bit chaotic. But that's why they make video apps like Video Shop, where you can merge your videos, right? Am I right? Yes. So let's add our mesh. I am going around the outer ring of this wreath. I'm pushing my mesh all the way in and twisting that pine around it. Now these are not super duper close together. You do not have to butt them up. You're going to end up using a ton of mesh. But the beauty of this method and fanning these out like this is it takes up its own space. You can make it as full as you want, but this is the way that I do it, especially when I know I'm trying to keep it on budget. If I'm trying to make a wreath look way bigger, then yeah, I will definitely really come at that outer edge and really pack those curls in there. But we're not doing that today. We like to keep our costs low and our standards high. So I'm just turning it. Oh, there's the tag. Let me pull that tag off. This is just a Hobby Lobby 24-inch base. They're my favorite. They have the very best wreaths. I know they keep going up on their prices on them, but they are so worth it. Michael's has some cheap ones, but they are definitely that. They are cheap. They're good. They are good to fill in for sure, but they are definitely a cheaper price point. These wreaths are actually very, very full. Wow, that camera is really just a shaking, isn't it? Shelby's going to find a better stand. Oh well, you make do with what you got, right? Right? Yes, okay. That's the beauty of tutorials, is like, not beauty. Nobody answers you. You're talking and nobody's answering. Just my dogs that are not supposed to be in here. I don't typically have my stand on here, but I thought I'd give y'all a better angle today. And it's proving to not be ideal with all the shaky. Let's get another orange in here. Another black and white. That came out perfectly. That never happens. And then let's take our extras and start working in the center. I don't usually put a lot in the center. It covers pretty quickly. And so I'm just going to go up and go opposite colors. So I have an orange here. I'm going to put the black and white. It's not like it matters. You're not really going to see it, but I just try to do that. It doesn't always work out either, but I try to start that way. Just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension and not just look all stacked and perfect. I have 3 black and white, or no, I have 2 black and white left. So I'm going to have to cut one more because I'm only going to use 3. So I'm going to kind of do them in a triangle. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to cut one more. Oh well, thought we were done with that. And I'm going to put it over here. And so I kind of have a triangle pattern, and then I'm just going to fill the rest in with orange. With the orange that I have left. I hate having mesh curls left over because there's nowhere to put them. I don't have anywhere to put them. They're going to end up torn up and I won't use them. So I really try to not have any left over. I would rather have to cut more than cut too many. Unless I know I'm going to be doing wreaths like back to back with the same colors, then I'll do that. Then I'll cut extra. But this is a Halloween wreath, so I'm really not trying to have this evergreen pine showing like we can for Christmas. So I am making sure I have some pretty good coverage in here with this mesh. Looks like I may have to cut 1 or 2 more. So still only using 2 colors. We did not even use 2 full rolls, and this is a pretty full base. And there we have it. There is our wreath base. All right, now I'm gonna see if I can move y'all real quick. That way you're not shaking for the rest of this tutorial. We're gonna see if this works a little bit better. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I don't have a separate stand to be able to stand it up high enough for you guys to be able to see. So it might be a little shaky. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on that. Okay, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna smush our wreath base into an oval. I very rarely keep any of my wreaths circular. Just not. Once you go oval, it's really hard to go back to oval. Okay. Yeah, it's still shaking. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna start apologizing now. All right, let's cut these tags off. I bought these from Babam Wreaths, but these are a Hannah's Handiworks item. Now I'm going to cut these tags off, and I'm also going to cut these plastic tags off. And this pumpkin is bigger than the other, which is great because I wanted this one on bottom anyway. And I'm just going to kind of tuck it into the bottom there. And I'm going to stack this one right on top of it. Just like that. And these are super lightweight and fluffy, so I know that I can glue them in without having to worry about them falling out. So just be generous with some glue to get it in there. Oh, I gotta turn it a little bit. I got a little glue on the front. A tip for getting hot glue where you don't want it is to break out your blow dryer. I mean, with cloth, you're really gonna have to do that. Otherwise, just wipe it before it's dry with either like a pipe cleaner or something like that that's not gonna stick. But you can break out your blow dryer and just melt it. All right, so we have that one. And then we're just gonna glue this one, not on top of it. It's gonna be on top, but I'm not gonna glue it to it. I'm just gonna glue it to the sides of the wreath. Just like so. And then I can come in and find where it's touching and just add a little bit more glue to secure. So now that we have our two big items placed, we can move on to our bow. Now I'm making this to accent her decor I already made for her last year. So we're not using the same ribbons. I'm really using none of the same stuff, but it's going to accent it very well. I used a lot of black and white polka dot, a lot of like whimsical Halloween vibes, not primitive, but you know, very whimsical. And so that's what we're going for, is that like steampunk / circus, just big vibrant vibes that you think of for Halloween. So we're gonna start off with some 4-inch Ferris silk. It's so beautiful. 4-inch glittered ribbon. I love this ribbon. And then we're gonna come accent it with, I don't know what brand of ribbon this is. I got it from a retreat, but it is great and it is so stiff and I really liked it. I used it in a pumpkin centerpiece we did. And then this is my favorite. It comes in a 20-yard roll. It's got a beautiful wire in it and it is just so stinking cute. So that's what we're gonna use in our bow. So let me see if I can get this on camera for you guys. But I'm going to pull out a bunch here and so y'all can watch me tie it. And I'm just going to kind of bunch it up like this. And I'm going to make a pretty good size loop. This loop is about 8 inches. Okay, and then I'm just going to flip my hand over and curl it back around to match. Now I am going to pull this tail through. I'm left-handed, so the way I do that, it depends on what side of the wreath I'm putting on. So I want this tail to be longer and this one shorter because it's going to go right here. So I had to pull this through or else my bow is going to be upside down. I am going to go ahead and cut it pretty long. That way I can dovetail it later. Now I'm going to turn it back over in my hand because I'm left-handed, so I can build it up. And this is, I tie bows all different ways. This is really just one of the ways that I tie or that I make a bow. It really just kind of depends on what I'm feeling at the moment, I guess. So let's come on top with this black, and this black is so stiff. So stiff. Such a good ribbon. It's almost too stiff, dare I say. And so I just made a loop like that and brought a short little tail over to match this short tail. And then, because it's so stiff, I don't want to pinch and twist it. I'm just going to pinch and loop it back over. And then I'm going to cut it a little long also. I know it's upside down, guys. Sorry, but I'm left-handed. I should have put y'all over there, but then we just be backwards. I'm not going to come to that side next time. We're going to figure this out together, fellas. I'm just going to, again, I made a loop. And I'm just going to lay it on top. I made that loop inside out. Make a loop and lay it on top. Just like that. We're going to cut it long. And then now this is a thick ribbon, so you could use a zip tie if you're needing to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to use a pipe cleaner like I always do. But if it makes you feel better to use a zip tie, you can. Or you can double stack your zip ties to make them a little bit stronger. So I'm just going to pull it tight. Twist it up. Bring my wreath back over here. And stick it on just like this. And then wrap it around. All right, so we're going to dovetail our ends. Just going to put them together and cut up at a slant. Just to have them hanging just below that wreath bottom. And because this one is so strong, I'm just going to kind of run it like that, let it curl up a little bit up under there. And then we'll cut these pretty short since they're sticking out to the side. That way we'll keep the shape of our wreath. All right, now we're going to take our ribbons and we're just going to kind of work our way around to add some accents. So I'm going to come kind of diagonal here. I'm going to take my 4-inch and I'm just going to kind of pinch a little tail here. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to stick it in here and tie it in. And cut it. And dovetail it. Because this ribbon is so big, we want to add some accents in there. We just don't want it to be super overpowering. So that's what we have so far. We're going to take our accent ribbon and I'm just going to kind of make a tiny bow, a little baby bow. And so I'm just going to take a little loop, twist the back, and I'm going to plant it in that same spot. And I have the tails, I basically have it upside down. I have the tails facing up. And then just a little loop. And we're also going to dovetail those. I dovetail as I go. Some people don't, but I cannot help it. It is just like stray hairs. I can't do it. I cannot. All right. Now, I'm going to try to whirl and twirl some of this very stiff black ribbon down the side. So I am just going to come in here. I'm going to kind of angle more down this direction because I'm going to do the same thing over here up that direction. That way they're still diagonal. And I'm just going to put a little tail and twist it in with my pine. And then I'm just going to kind of take my hand and gently make a little loop. and just stick it into the mesh. You want it to look like it's coming from your wreath, not on your wreath, if that makes sense. And then we're just gonna leave a tail kind of long since we're at the bottom. That is some incredibly strong ribbon, y'all. Like incredibly strong. Now I'm gonna come to this side. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. This is just a recipe I'm going with. I don't know why, but it is. So I have a tail here. I'm gonna put it right up here, right inside of there. I'm kind of going to that inner ring. Take my hand, do a little loop, and I'm gonna kind of go toward the outer ring. Find a couple pieces of pine, stick it in there, and twist it around just like that. If you need to place some glue, if you don't feel like it's very secure in that pine, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just kind of have what you have, but just take a little bit of glue and just glue it. Put a few drops of glue on that pine to hold it in place. Now I do want some more black and white. I feel like it needs a little bit more ribbon, so we are going to add a couple of more baby bows, because I just want this to be really whimsical and fun for Halloween. Where do I want this? I do think I'm going to come right inside of this loop. I'm going to come right under it and twist that in. A little sniffy snip. And again, same thing on the other side. We got to keep it looking all nice and neat. It's not super matchy-matchy, but you gotta, it's gotta coordinate a little bit. Need a little coordination here. And I'm just gonna come right up and kind of do the same thing. I already have one here, so I'm not going in this gap. We're gonna put other things to fill that in. But we just want these to be little accent bows. Just like that. So that's where we are so far. Now, I am really thinking about putting y'all on the stand. I don't think it's gonna work though. So let's continue working, okay? Here is where we are. This is where how we're looking with our wreath so far, okay? What I am gonna do, just give me 5 seconds, all right? Okay. Now, I do feel like y'all can see that a little bit better. We're gonna tilt it up just like this. We're gonna work this way, okay? Give it a little tilt. Instead of it hanging, just a little slanted. Kind of work with it a little bit better, okay? All right, we have our pumpkins. Now it's just time to add our fun accents. So I have some of these little pumpkins. These came from the at-home store. And these are super fun and whimsy. I love me some black and white. Love these. I had these in a bigger version a couple years ago, and oh my God, people freaked out over them. And so we are going to use these kind of like ornaments, okay? We are going to actually put this one here. I trust the process, so I'm gluing. I am gluing. Going with my gut, okay? We're gonna glue that one here, and we're gonna catty corner, diagonal, whatever wording you want to use. This one right in that blank space we were just talking about. just like that. And then we're gonna take our orange, and I'm gonna come right in here. Grab another glue stick. Another orange. I wanted the black and white ones to stand out. The orange ones, if it's hidden a little bit, it's okay. I just need them for accents. I'm going to kind of pull that bow back, just stick that one in there. It's not really seen, but it's there. It will be seen from the side eventually. So it's got to be there. You got to have it. Got to have it. And then I'll save my black ones for another day. Now we're going to come in with something that I don't have on my table. Where is it? All right. We're going to take one stem. One. Why one? Because I'm using the rest for my own stuff. And these are super limited. I can't believe I snagged some. This is the Halloween version of a branch called 60919. It's actually called 63526, but it is the Halloween version of 60919, which, if you have not heard of, is just like this super, super popular stem that people love to use because you can spread it out. It spreads so far, and you can just, I mean, multiple uses. It really used to be just for spring, some summer, and then this year they came out with the fall version and a Halloween version. Halloween is so hard to snag. Thankfully, I snagged it at the retreat I was at. So it usually separates into 3 easy pieces, but since I'm only using one, we are going to separate it a little bit more. Excuse me. I'm just pulling these apart into 2 other pieces. And I'm going to do it as we go because I don't want them to come apart, so I really want to make sure I get them glued down. But you need to make sure on a stem, any stem, that you're touching every piece, okay? Bring it to life. These have these twigs on the top. I like to curl them around my finger and just give them a little bit of life, like that. Y'all see that? Just like that. Okay, so you want to touch all your pieces. Now, I know I'm only going to have 6, so I am going to do a little bit of a dry run, just so I can make sure I have them exactly where I want them. And this just adds some super cool whimsy. I love it. I honestly was not a fan of the 60919 originally. I am now. And especially the Halloween. It's an awesome filler if you use it properly. It really has to be used properly. Because it can either look really great or really not great. I'm going to work my way to the inside with this one. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit because this has the berries. And so I do want to bring that to the inside, a smidgen, like that. These really tall pieces, I want to make sure to work in my top and bottoms because they are so much longer. I'm just wrapping these wires around each other. We'll snip it off a little bit or else it'll make you want to curse because it starts getting hung and snagging on that mesh. We have 2 more. I'm so ready to move on from Halloween, y'all. Like, I love Halloween, but it is time for Christmas. Like, I know it's not actually time for Christmas, but it's time for Christmas decor. Like, it is that time. If you are a wreath maker, you know. You know. All right, now this one I'm just going to come tuck in behind our bow. Maybe, see? Pointy pieces are not want to work in there. So now we have these two diagonally. We have these two here. We have one up top, and we brought one into the center. There's one pick, okay? One pick. And it really livened up the joint, don't you think? Now let's go glue them down. You might have to pull some a little bit out and then shove them in. But man, when you get good placement like that, it's like you don't want to move them. That's why I typically glue as I go. There we go. Now I have a glittery pumpkin pick. Aren't these stinking cute? These came from Craft Outlet, I believe. Hang on, guys. Let me grab a drink. And we're just going to snip these off. Like so. And place these in here. This is the bigger pumpkin. So I'm thinking I want to go up top. But yeah, I do actually. There's only one. No, this is polka dot. Okay. Let's go here. Come on. There we go. We're going to go there. And then I think I'm going to bring this one in right here. And then I'll finish this one off down here. Well, I wanted to. I don't want them on top of each other though. See, that's not going to work for me. Because you got the orange. If I bring the white, it's going to do the same thing. Thinking. All right, I'm going to pull this pumpkin off. We're going to trade it out, okay? See? Just rip it right off. We're going to trade it off with this striped black and orange. That way, we're not too matchy-matchy. All right, now we're going to plug in our little felt pumpkins, add a little bit of softness in here with all this color. Now I'm just filling in my gaps, which I didn't glue these in. Let's go right there. Fill in some of that green and glue these down. Just any spots that I'm seeing that are empty. I only have 3, so I am trying to keep it in a nice pattern. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but that's okay. We'll just come right in there. Then we'll come in with our little accenting pieces. I have these. So this kind of adds that spooky little bit of depth. And then I have those little cute ball sprays from Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to chop these up a little bit, and then we'll chop them up some more. You can get lots of pieces out of these. Lots of pieces. Let's cut this one here, and then we'll cut this one here. Yeah, lots and lots and lots and lots. And then we will kind of do the same thing we did with that 60919 spray, except I'm just going to start gluing as I go, because I know I'm just going to sprinkle these all over. So let's continue adding these around our edges. Just a little wispy goodness. Bringing some a little bit to the inside. We need to break up some of that mesh color. If it's a little too long, which these actually just pluck off, we'll just make it a little shorter. And then we'll take this little piece and come right behind it and stick that in there. And then just continue maneuvering around. Let's clip a couple more. Sorry if I start humming. I am a hummer, especially when I'm working. It's always music going on up there. Music or movie memes. There's no in between. All right, now let's take a couple of little ones and just work a couple to the inside. Come right in here. Just adding a little bit more texture that usually only we notice, but it is all about the details that gets your design noticed. All about the details. Just little details. All right, let's get some of these cutie little wispy doodles in here. This reminds me of, I think that movie, what is it, Horton Hears a Who? I think that's what this reminds me of. I could be totally off base by saying that, but we're rocking with it, okay? And these are just so stinking cute. Gosh, my phone, y'all. Today, they are on it today. Of course, that's just Live 360, but that's my own fault. Now, because we are designing on the table, once I stand this thing up, I might be like, whoa, holy bald spot. And we'll have to add some more stuff. But this is what we're going with for the angle that we have right now. So y'all, which the angle's terrible. I will do better next time. But y'all might be seeing something that I'm not, just because you're sitting there staring at it and I'm just kind of working. But I'm a huge believer in whenever you get something done, you totally gotta step back and get a breather and then come back and look at it, especially if you're getting frustrated. Because if you're just standing over it and you're constantly adding stuff, you're just constantly critiquing it, you got to just get your eyes off of it and then come back and look at it as a whole. Get this out of the way. Get out of here. I'll just come right up here, these last two. All right, and our last thing that we're adding is these cutesy curls that really just top off this whimsical look. We have 5, which we love an odd number. So we will snip these and sprinkle them around. Making a mess. Just throwing it. Now I do dry run these a little bit because sometimes I'm like, that don't look good. And you don't want them to be the same length. You definitely want to, excuse me, have that one and then go a little longer. And you can pull these out and make them curly. Like that. Looks like some Beetlejuice type stuff, which I think is really cute. So we're going to add this one. And then we'll add these other 2. We have 3. So let's bring this one to the top. And I do kind of have them all facing, I guess you could call it, the same direction. You can curl these more. Just play around with them a little bit. Last one needs to go right here from what I can tell. Just like that. And then I'm going to curl these out. I do like that little curly look that we have going there. I'm going to curl this one down a little bit, like so. And then we're going to glue. And that is it, ladies and gents. So I am going to hang this up. I'm going to look at it, and then I'm probably going to have to come back and add some, little touches to it of things that I can't really see on video, just to get a better eye. But you should always do that with your work. You should always. You got to get a different perspective, a fresh look. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Have a great week. Bye, y'all.